Hi, my name's Cass Turnbull. This is a short subject from Plant Amnesty. We're going to talk about pruning this conifer, and this is some sort of arborvitae. I'm not really sure what. I think it's a thuya. And the reason you don't see a lot of videos on pruning conifers is there's trouble with them, which is to say you can't just cut anywhere and expect it to turn green again. That makes size control very difficult. If you can see inside to this brown junk, here, let me get that for you. Where it turns brown, and there's nothing but brown in there. If you were to cut back, say, into that brown, that would not green back up and give you a green branch. So you can only cut as far as it's green. And that's not very far. And it keeps coming out more and more every year. But as long as you hide the cuts and you keep it looking natural, you could probably moderately reduce the size. I can tell you that in this particular instance, we moved the plant that it was growing into, and then we moved the path over because we couldn't make it much smaller, not enough that it would be comfortable for people to walk around. So, gosh, it's so pretty. I hate to touch it. You can get more clearance if you take off some of the lowest limbs that are hanging out over the path. You would hide your cut far back inside. Pull it out. Whenever you can, pet out all these dead twigs. You can see where I did it before. Here's another one that's coming out pretty far. I'll cut it off. No place in particular. And as long as you can't see the cuts, that's okay. It's not going to flush out. Gives it like a little black line underneath. Might keep it from running into something. You can do a few little cuts as long as it doesn't open up a sight line to this dead stuff inside. If it does, your next move, what I call the magic glue, is to take out all the dead stuff. Certainly you can get all the dead needles off just by rubbing your hands along it. If it's worse than that, say you've done this to a juniper or something, you have to get in and clip out every little tiny bit of yellow that you exposed, or it will ruin the good looks of your plant. So if you have an oops and you expose what I call the dead zone, what's your next move? Well, your next move is to get rid of all the dead foliage without cutting off any more green. And that's very painstaking. Here's an example of what I did by mistake. Here's a frond and it's dead completely to the tip. And so I can follow it back and cut it off completely. But say this one here has green on the end, and then it has all this brown stuff, and I have to cut off each one of these little tiny side branches, always making sure that it doesn't have green on the end, because you have to have that green. This one's dead to the end, so I can cut it off as smooth as I can. We don't want to leave stubble. Oh, that one's dead clear to the end, so it can come off. This one's got green stuff on the end, so I have to take off all these little tiny bits of dead. Sometimes you can just snap them out. And on to the next one. How long is this going to take? Well, it's not going to be pleasant. That's all I can say. So, this is a little bit about what to do when you've screwed up, and everybody does. I just have learned not to say oops out loud. I say I'm Cass Turnbull. I'm with Plant Amnesty. We have a lot of pruning videos on the YouTube channel on a lot of different species. We also have a website with a lot of literature. You can even ask questions. It is plantamnesty.org. See you there.